ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Dinozor Gaming, where we learn to be a better player. We are finally watching the finals of the Card Baller Showdown here, following up on a couple of extremely exciting games in the top 8 and top 4. If you have not seen those, do yourself a favor and go check those out. But if you're here, well, spoiler alert, the winners were obviously Palpatine on yellow cunning base, piloted by the man, the myth, the legend himself, the winner of the New York Planetary Qualifier, Charlie. And on the right side we have none other than Dinozor Gaming himself on Mother Talzin Red Force base. Now, last game we did see how easily Palpatine was able to deal with the aggressive nature of Cad Bane, and Mother Talzin, while a different deck, does play in a somewhat similar sense, so we're going to see if the same defensive options are going to be enough for Palpatine here. Mother Talzin here with the initiative on the first turn starts off with a Karis dropping a 2-4 on turn 1. That's exactly what you want. It's very difficult to deal with, even with some of the best tools that Palpatine has access to, like McClunky. But it is going to be answered by a Bazine that's going to snipe out that fallen lightsaber. A great choice here by Palpatine, because otherwise on turn 2 you would be facing off against a 5-7 that not only generates the force and attacks very hard, but also deals a bunch of damage to your ground units for free. And normally, while you are able to deal with that in a control shell, you do not have access to vigilance here, no power of the dark side, and not much in terms of upgrade removal, at the very least not before sideboarding, so you would have to rely on Waylay or Merciless Contest if you run it. But looks like that's no longer an issue. Karis attacks the base here, generating the force for Mother. It's going to be answered here by paying 1 for a Salacious Crumb. We saw how much work that Salacious was able to put in last game. We'll see if the same is going to happen so far. It is answered quickly by a Grand Inquisitor 3-4 hidden with Raid 1. That's going to hit very hard, and it's actually giving access to Talzin to a means of dealing with Palpatine's units. A mistake that a lot of people often make fighting off against Palpatine is ignoring their weak units, assuming that they're just useless little fodder, only 1-3 in stats. But one of Palpatine's weaknesses is having their board cleared. Not having access to their leader ability is a huge aspect to it. And indeed, we're going to see a McClunky come down here, bounce that crumb back to their hand, dealing 3 damage to the Inquisitor, setting it within range of dying to the Palpatine leader ability. And indeed, with the Mother Talzin claiming here, we're going to see Bazine hit the base and suicide itself to kill off that Inquisitor. Hidden or not, it has been dealt with. Now, going back to what we were talking about here, Palpatine is not only one of the hardest decks to pilot, but it is also one of the most difficult decks to play against. Every little misstep makes a huge advantage here. Often enough, as we mentioned, people tend to ignore their units. And one of the best examples here is that Contracted Hunter comes in and kills that Karis, putting 2 damage on him, and normally you would think, let's leave that there, it's going to die at the end of the turn. But if you do that with the 1 resource that's remaining, Palpatine is going to be able to use the leader ability and finish that off, replacing it by another card draw. And indeed, we see Mother use the ability, finish off that Contracted Hunter, deny the option of an extra card draw. However, not having much of a resource play on turn 4 for Mother is fairly unfortunate. This is usually one of Mother Talzin's strongest turns, and simply dropping a Karis and claiming initiative slows you down considerably. That said, we are now moving into the 5 resource turn. This is generally the turn where Mother Talzin flips from defense to offense. It is not uncommon to see Mother Talzin come out, deploy, and honestly end the turn not only with a clear board on your opponent's side, but also upwards of 3 to 4 units on your side to overwhelm your opponent. That Salacious Crumb here, not a big body, but able to immediately bounce right back to hand, already having healed 2 from Charlie's base. And it's going to keep doing that, bouncing back to hand to deal a damage to that Karis here. But Karis is able to attack, generate that force. It is answered by a Loth Cat here to exhaust the Mother. Once again, really denying that damage output from Mother, from Charlie. We're looking at turn 4 here, the Mother deploy turn, and only 4 damage on the base. Probably 3 with that Salacious Crumb coming down. Exactly what happens here. With two resources open, is Mother going to continue developing the board or claim the initiative to clear out both of these units? This is a perfect lineup of the numbers here. Mother Talzin is able to claim, use that leader to finish off the Crumb and the Lothcat. Yes, you do end up losing quite a bit of damage on the base, but that might be worth it if you're able to deny your opponent additional card draw. Looks like we opt not to use that McClunky here, deciding that if we do McClunky and kill off that Karis, a Lothcat would have immediately died with the when defeated ability. Pretty tricky situation here for Palpatine, as both of the units that you're easily able to defeat have when defeated abilities that you normally do not want to trigger. So indeed, we're going to be seeing that McClunky come down and deal the 3 damage to Mother Talzin instead. Salacious Crumb coming back down. Already, I believe, the 4th healing that small unit has done. It has gotten the value that it needs. Now, as we move into the 6th resource turn, Mother Talzin has the initiative. It is likely going to be clearing out both of these units here. Yep, that's exactly what we're going to see here. Lothcat being defeated does allow the exhaustion of one of these 2 units. Likely going to be Jedi in hiding to prevent that 3 damage from coming in. But while you are stopping the bleeding from the incoming damage, Palpatine's hand is running low. You have not been able to use your leader ability very often, and Mother has been dealing with your units fairly efficiently here. Mother Talzin killing off 2 of your units is essentially a 0 for 2. And we're still only at the 6th resource turn. You do not yet have access to your big units like Vader or Maul. We're going to see that sneak attack come in here from Palpatine, and indeed cheating out that Darth Vader. We did mention you're not at 7, but Cunning has quite a few tricks up its sleeve, and indeed that Darth Vader is going to come down. Not really using up that sneak attack's main effect of coming in ready, as you are going to be ambushing nonetheless, but being allowed to use your Vader a turn early is quite the powerful play here. And that Vader is going to be able to not only develop the board, but also clear out something, potentially the Mother Talzin. Searching the top 10 here for the myriad of possible units for Palpatine. To remember that while most people use Vader to develop the board with strong units, Emperor Palpatine's build generally relies on a lot of other smaller units that are able to support, so to speak. But looks like instead we're going to be seeing the P-38, allowing the Vader to essentially ambush for 6 or just deal out more damage in general. Let's see what is going to be ambushed here by Vader. You obviously have the option of getting rid of Mother Talzin, dealing with that leader once and for all, or you can ambush into that Karis to prevent an extra 2 damage onto your base. And indeed, Mother Talzin is defeated. That said, you have used up all of your resources as Palpatine. You know that your opponent's next action here is obviously going to be to claim the initiative, so Mother Talzin has full control of the board at the moment, and with 6 resources open, there is a myriad of options that we can be doing, and we're going to see a Force Lightning here to deal with that P-38 to defeat it without getting the when defeated, and a Chirrut is going to be played. And while that was a great play for Palpatine, they are still falling behind on the board here. And you have to remember that you are not playing Vigilance, so you do not have the option of a Super Laser Blast if the board gets out of control. So having to deal with 3 units on the play every single turn is gonna wear down on Palpatine's hand size. Especially with a play like that Sneak Attack Vader, while it's a great play, it does cost you 2 cards in hand here. And so if Palpatine does resource now, they're gonna be down to 2 cards in hand. Your options are starting to get extremely limited, and with 3 units in play, whatever you end up putting down is likely gonna be defeated, preventing you from using that Palpatine ability. And indeed, we do see a resource from Palpatine here, going up to 7, still a turn away from the Palpatine deploy. Oh, never mind, ignore everything I just said. 3 resources spent. to resupply, going up to 8 here, and now realizing that that Karis is most likely about to be stolen from Palpatine, Mother Talzin opts to attack the base with it. And we're gonna see a P-38 played here to ping that chariot, allowing Palpatine to steal that instead. So following up on the same line of thought, chariot attacks the base here. Mother knows what's about to happen, but there's nothing you can realistically do about it. And stealing that chariot is a huge play here for Palpatine, because not only are you removing a unit from your opponent's board, but you're setting up great defense here. Now, if that if that Jedi in hiding wants to attack into the chariot, yeah, of course there's no force here, but it's not going to be able to kill it by itself. That said, with only a single card in Palpatine's hand, it is a very tempting offer here for Jedi in hiding to use the ability to get rid of that last card in hand. We'll see if Mother opts to do that. Looks like we have opted not to use Jedi in hiding here. Did not deem it worth it to discard the last card in Palpatine's hand. Oh, what am I saying? There is no card in Palpatine's hand. We've already seen both cards played this turn. My apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. And so obviously Jedi in hiding is not going to trigger anything, but instead saving that force. When Palpatine attacks and clears off both of those units, Karis uses the ability of Karis was when defeated to finish off the P-38 here. And now with an empty board on Mother's side, Palpatine has significantly slowed down his opponent. Even with that Ruthless Raider coming down, you still have 19 health on your base, and you're starting to feel like you're stabilizing potentially at the right time here. Now we are moving into the 8 resource turn for Mother Talzin. Let's see if some of those big threats for Mother are going to come out here, because that Ruthless Raider, while a very strong card, is not going to be enough to finish out the game here if Palpatine is able to put down a consistent effect ability. Like if a Reinforcement Walker comes out, indeed we do see that Reinforcement Walker come down here. That is a very dangerous card here. Is going to be able to heal upwards of 3 every single turn, but no, it looks like instead we opt to draw the card, probably something extremely good. And realizing that their turns are numbered here, Mother has to switch onto the offensive. You can no longer fight to get control of the board. You have completely lost the ground. So indeed that Devastator comes down and deals 4 damage to the base, forcing Palpatine to claim the initiative. Otherwise, you're going to get hit in the face for 9. Now, of course, Palpatine's deck does have quite a few tools to deal with this situation. If Change of Heart is played, for example, stealing that Devastator here, it's going to single-handedly end the game. Not only are you taking away that 9 damage, but you're also threatening onto your opponent, forcing likely that Ruthless Raider to attack into it, because even if your opponent chooses to ignore it, Palpatine is able to attack and get rid of it nonetheless. But looks like we don't have that in hand just yet. Reinforcement Walker opts to attack the base instead, meaning that that Devastator is going to be able to attack for 9. While there was a lot of health remaining on the base, that is changing very quickly here. Reinforcement Walker likely going to be healing for 3 here, but your base is already at 19. Even with the heal of 3, that Devastator hit is going to put you at 25. That is not a lot of health considering there's still a Ruthless Raider in play. It looks like we realized this here. Palpatine says, no matter what I do here, I'm gonna lose, and that is gonna be it for game number 1. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to game number 2 here. We're gonna see if the sideboard options are gonna be enough to change up this matchup here for Palpatine. We did see Palpatine able to start stabilizing near the end of the first game, but with the sheer amount of damage coming out of Mother Talzin's hand, that unpreventable reach coming in from red-black aggression villainy is very hard to deal with, especially in green-yellow. So starting off game number 2 here with the initiative for Palpatine, we see that Aura Sing come down, one of the strongest stat-wise turn 1 plays possible, answered by a Secretive Sage, one of the sturdiest turn 1 plays possible. His game is still anybody's. I would hope so by turn 2. Now for 1, we're going to see that ISP agent come down, reveal the resupply. Interesting option here, opting to not use the resupply and instead just reveal it to remove the shield. Very good play here, setting up the kill on that Secretive Sage, because even if Secretive Sage opts to attack Aura Sing here, it would set it to 1 health. Palpatine would be able to ping it to kill it. So instead, we see that Fallen Lightsaber come down here, and with only 2 resources open, there's not much you're able to do as Palpatine unless you have that Confiscate, and looks like we do not have it. ISP Agent is sacrificed to deal a damage, and Aura Sing is defeated, not able to utilize that amazing Raid 2. Instead, just 1 damage dealt back to that Sage, and the board is already looking to be in Mother's favor. That was a very fast turn of events. We see that contracted Hunter come down and finish off that Secretive Sage. Not able to survive this time around to use Palpatine's ability. The Mother is able to quickly develop a Darth Tyrannus on the board, another shielded unit that Palpatine's going to need to deal with. And looks like no other 1-cost options here. We're going to be moving on to the next turn. Shields are already notoriously hard to deal with in general, even more difficult when you're not playing any means of bypassing them, such as Vigilance or Saboteur units. And unfortunately for you, in green-yellow, you do not have many options of easily bypassing that shield. We're going to see that Bazine come down, reveal the hand here. Some fantastic options for Mother Talzin. Talzin's Assassin on turn 4 is a great card, and if Bazine does not get rid of it, it is likely going to be coming down and killing that Bazine. So indeed, we see that Talzin's Assassin sniped out from the hand, even with the other threats. Like, you do not want to be seeing that if you are Charlie here. Seeing that Crate Dragon and that Ruthless Raider in Mother's hand is very dangerous. Looks like Mother opts to deploy here. Not too worried about Bazine being used with the Palpatine leader ability. A questionable decision, because Tyrannus would have been very easily able to deal with that Bazine. But no, instead looks like we're going to be paying 3 to get that resupply in play here. Using up all of his resources here. Mother Talzin is now able to clear out that Bazine, no longer worried about Palpatine being able to respond in any way whatsoever. And we're going to see a Jedi in hiding developed here, drawn off the top due to that Bazine. Moving on to the next turn. Once again, we see ourselves in this situation on the Mother flip turn. The board is emptied out on your opponent's side, and there are 3 to 4 units on your turn. This is what Mother Talzin does every single game, and part of what makes it really, really strong. A lot of people consider this deck to be so good mainly because of Force Throw, but we have so far not seen a single Force Throw played, really showing that the deck has quite a bit of legs despite it. And obviously that by the time this video comes out, Force Throw has been suspended, so this is a great showcase of what the deck is still able to do without it. Now, moving into the 7 resource turn for Palpatine here, that Vader comes down. That's exactly what you want to be seeing, right on curve, playing one of the best units in the game. Let's see what that Vader is going to be able to pull out. Is it going to be enough to try to put a dent in Mother's board? We see Salacious Crumb come down again, this Palpatine's favorite unit, and another Aura Sing. Not quite helping deal with the board here, but setting up additional targets that Mother is going to need to deal with, because otherwise it's just more fodder that Palpatine is able to throw at your units to filter out his hand. And we're going to see Vader choosing to ambush into Mother Talzin here. Interesting decision, not able to finish Mother off quite yet, but weakening it up that no matter what happens here, there's a very easy way to deal with it next turn. And so we're going to see Mother Talzin just use up that attack to get rid of that Salacious Crumb here, take no damage back, still staying at 2 damage. You're likely not going to be able to deal with Aura Sing here. It is hidden. It's not easy to attack into it. There are absolutely ways to bypass that hidden here, but Mother Talzin not giving the -1/-1 to it kind of signals that you're likely not going to. Tyrannus is able to finish off that Vader, and oh, never mind, we're going to be seeing that Force Lightning clear out the Aura Sing. This is a very interesting choice. Once again, going back to what I mentioned earlier on, is that a lot of people really undervalue the units that Palpatine plays. Some people would have just left that Aura Sing there, not worried about it. It's just a 2-drop. What is it going to do to you? Well, you are denying your opponent options by playing it this way. And indeed, even though you're using a premium removal like Force Lightning, you are making it so your opponent has to make very difficult decisions. We are now moving into the 8 resource turn here, and Palpatine is able to flip, but with nothing damaged on Mother's board. There's nothing to steal quite yet. You're going to need to play a unit and hopefully sacrifice it, unless that unit itself is able to ping. If you play a P-38, for example. We're going to see that ISB agent come down, revealing the McClunky, putting a damage on Tyrannus here. That Tyrannus is likely going to be stolen, so the best option here is to use it to finish off that ISB agent precisely here. Once again, denying that leader ability from being played. And we're seeing that Palpatine's hand is very awkward here. Having not been able to use the Palpatine ability all game here, not having filtered your hand, your options are fairly limited. Mother Talzin is able to attack the base and immediately kill off that Tyrannus that was just stolen. So even with the Palpatine flip, still not able to trigger the ability. Mother Talzin has been in complete control of this game so far. Looks like we're going to see a pass here from Palpatine, and it's going to be answered by another Force Lightning that's going to kill Palpatine in a single hit. 10 damage dealt for 6 resources. It is essentially a rival's fall. Your options are dwindling even more here as Palpatine. It is a very precarious situation, but luckily you have the options of smuggling. You are playing cunning. And indeed, that Bazine comes down, revealing the same 2 cards that we saw on turn 1, Crate Dragon and Ruthless Raider. Crate Dragon is discarded. Great choice here, as soon as that Crate Dragon comes down, it is going to end the game single-handedly, but that is still a few turns away. Mother Talzin really taking their time here, not choosing to rush into damaging the base, just bleeding your opponent out bit by bit, getting rid of that Bazine, preventing options even further, and we're going to see a claim and a moving on to the next turn here. Oh, never mind. It looks like Palpatine was simply passing here, but opts to still not play anything. Moving on to the next turn here. Palpatine still having the initiative. We see Mother Talzin once again resource here, going up to 8. There's a good chance that a Devastator was drawn. Alternatively, we do know that the Ruthless Raider is in hand at the moment, and with 2 Jedi in hiding in play, that is a lot of, not only a lot of damage in play, but also the option of discarding your opponent's hand. Palpatine is already running low on cards as is, and with the low quality of cards that has been in his hand so far, Jedi in hiding able to filter that out even more is gonna hurt. But luckily we do see a Palpatine's return here, able to fetch that Darth Vader from the discard. Great choice. Not only are you getting a discount on that Vader, but you're not having to play it from your hand. Very good pickup here for Palpatine. Is going to be able to clear out likely the Mother Talzin at the very least, and develop some cards on the board. With 3 resources open, you're gonna finally be able to use your leader ability. That is what you need in this situation to come back. We see that P-38 picked up here. This is a very interesting situation because if that P-38 opts to ping that second Jedi in hiding, that's exactly what's going to happen. Vader is going to kill Mother Talzin, and the ping goes on to Jedi in hiding here. Great play by Palpatine, because no matter which Jedi attacks here, you're able to use your leader ability, finish off that P-38, and deal 2 damage to finish off the one that did not attack. But seeing this play, Mother Talzin opts to play the Ruthless Raider, deny that ping, at the very least the extra ping, so now that P-38 is only able to do 1 damage, and this forces Palpatine to use his leader ability on that Vader, something you don't want to do. It's not often that you want to sacrifice a 5-4 in stats just to kill off a Jedi. As soon as things were starting to turn for Palpatine here, it looks like Mother had the perfect answer. Now, with 2 resources, we're going to see a Mahdi deployed here. A very interesting choice. Obviously hoping for that Mahdi to survive. That way Palpatine is able to use his ability to kill it off, not only finishing off a Jedi, but readying up that Darth Vader. But Mother has 2 units in play. So you're absolutely able to finish off that Mahdi here. The question is, would you rather sacrifice a Jedi or simply weaken a second one? Oh, looks like instead we're going to be hitting Vader here, putting it down to 1 health. That is a very good choice here, because now even when Mahdi is sacrificed and that Vader readies up, that second Jedi is able to attack into it, killing it and discarding a second card, really utilizing that force generation on attack to its full potential here by Mother. Even with the card draw coming in from Palpatine leader ability, you're still going to be going down to a single card here for Palpatine. Indeed, that Jedi attacks, kills itself, generates the force, uses it right again, right back down to a single card for Palpatine here, and using the final 2 resources to deploy yet another unit. The board is looking to heavily be in Mother Talzin's favor here. And let's see if Palpatine is able to draw something really good off the top. You need to be seeing a Devastator or a Reinforcement Walker to try and stabilize at the moment. Luckily, your deck does have those cards. You do have the options available. You just need to find them. And this is why it's very important for Palpatine to be able to use those leader abilities. You want to filter through all of those low-cost cards that you normally play. You want to get to your big cards. You might not be running too many of them, but the few that you do are really, really strong. And we do see a Commandeer played here, stealing that Ruthless Raider. A great play here. Luckily for Mother, it is answered by a Pillage, getting rid of the only 2 cards in Palpatine's hand, forcing him to once again play with almost no options in play. Now we're going to be able to finally see Palpatine use his leader ability, dealing 3 damage to that Karis, 2 to base, getting rid of that threat. But with only a single card in hand, is that going to be enough? We see that Cham Syndulla come in, ramping Mother up even further. P-38 comes down to finish off that Karis, but Karis immediately dies due to P-38 immediately dies due to Karis's when defeated ability. Honestly, the Karises this game have been very clutch. Every single one has been able to kill something off with it. If I'm going down, I am taking you down with me, and it has been working great. Now with the initiative, we're going to see another Pillage played. Luckily for Palpatine, however, nothing great was in their hand. If that Reinforcement Walker or Devastator was drawn, it would have been a very unfortunate situation. But instead, we're going to see that Bazine played from the Smuggle Row once again, revealing the Ruthless Raider and that Force Throw that we mentioned earlier. But with no cards in hand, are you actually worried about Force Throw? Turns out Palpatine is worried about that. So we're going to see Cham Syndulla finish off that Bazine, denying once again the leader ability from coming in. Oh, opting to get rid of that Force Throw was actually a great play here, because you only have 5 resources open for Mother, not able to play that Ruthless Raider, and this way you next turn whatever you play, your second card will not immediately be discarded. Very good call here from Palpatine, actually, something that even I missed. Honestly, while at the moment the board does look a little lopsided in Mother Talzin's favor, already at 16 damage on the base to 6, it is still anybody's game at the moment. Some of the big threats that come down for Palpatine could be enough to switch this game around entirely. If we see a Maul or a Vader or a Devastator played here, the game could switch entirely into Palpatine's favor. 14 damage is a lot that Mother will need to do. We're going to see if Palpatine drew his answers. And for 7, indeed that Maul does come down, overwhelming damage, finishing off that Champ Syndulla, but setting itself to only 1. And that Devastator is going to come down here, finish off the Maul and dealing 3 to that base. Did you get the answer to this Devastator this time? We're going to need to see likely another change of heart, or a commandeer wouldn't do it. So you need either a waylay, which wouldn't do much, it would only delay the inevitable, or you really need a Devastator or a change of heart here to stabilize the board. Looking into their resource row, trying to hope for an answer, does not seem to have it. For 5, we're going to see that Legacy Run come down, and doesn't seem like Mother cares. 9 damage dealt to the base right away, taking that up to 26. Only 4 more to go. 28, apologies, only 2 more to go. A Ruthless Raider would end the game. Another Devastator would end the game. Palpatine uses the ability to finish off Devastator, but the Ruthless Raider is revealed, and that is it for the game, ladies and gentlemen. Palpatine was not quite able to stabilize enough. Very unfortunate string of draws there at the end. Any one of the big threats would have been enough to flip the game around, but alas, Mother's damage from hand was enough to close out the game. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this series, and if you did, please feel free to leave a like, a comment, a subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.